You've already picked the year you'll retire. Good. But the month you're stepping out that door could quietly cost you $13,000. And almost nobody warns you about it, folks. 'Cause most folks treat retirement like a birthday. Hit 62, 65, or 67, and figure any old month will do. Today we're going to talk about the best month to retire, and the worst one. 'Cause that calendar page ain't just a date. It talks directly to the IRS, to Medicare, and to your own employer. And here's what ought to stop you cold. This trap ain't hitting the careless folks. It hits the ones who did everything right the hardest. Here's the cleanest rule you can pocket right now. For most folks, retiring on January 1st or early in the year is pure gold. It turns your first year into a low-income year you can actually shape for taxes and health insurance. Now, what I'm about to show you flips the traditional calendar on its head. But don't skip ahead on me. 'Cause if you miss how Step 1 links into Step 2, this exact move will backfire and cost you thousands. You've got to see how all 5 levers lock together to get the real math right. If this is already making you look at your wall calendar a little differently, tap that like button and subscribe. That one click tells YouTube to put this breakdown in front of another good retiree facing this exact choice. Now, here's where we're heading. We're looking at the levers sitting right on your kitchen table that you actually control. Not the stock market. Wall Street ain't something you can control, folks. We're talking your final paycheck, your unused vacation payout, your employer 401k match, your health insurance deductible, and the tax year your income lands in. Line 'em up right, and you start retirement strong. Get 'em wrong, and you hand away money you spent 30 years building. Let's look at 2 fellas who worked 30 years side by side at the same regional utility company. This is Dean, 64, walked away with $500,000 in his retirement accounts. And this is Carl, 63. Same savings, same salary, same pension milestone. Carl picked November 15th, thinking any date in the 4th quarter was basically the end of the year. Dean waited just 7 weeks longer and retired on January 2nd. Carl's retirement date triggered 5 separate penalties, eating away over $13,000. Dean kept every single penny of that $13,000 in his own pocket. Same career, same nest egg, folks, but their bottom line ain't even close. Let's be walking through all 5 levers so you don't make Carl's $13,000 mistake. Lever number 1 is the one big financial channels almost never mention, your employer match. A lot of company 401k plans only pay their full matching contribution as a year-end true-up. Meaning, if you're not on the payroll on December 31st or haven't hit 1,000 hours, you forfeit the match. Carl walked out on November 15th. He thought his 4% match accrued evenly every single paycheck. But the plan required him to be working on December 31st, collecting that final true-up deposit. That single mistake cost Carl $3,200 of free employer money he'd already earned. Dean waited until January 2nd, got his $3,200 true-up deposited, and then walked out the door. Write this down. Call HR this week and ask, does our plan have a year-end true-up? And what is the exact qualifying date? One quick phone call could save you $3,000 to $5,000 of free cash. Now, lever number 2, your unused vacation, sick time, and PTO pay stacking up. Most companies pay that out as a lump sum in your final paycheck. Sounds like a wonderful parting gift, don't it? But it ain't free money. That payout is taxable ordinary income landing in the calendar year you receive it. Picture Carl. He retired November 15th with 240 hours of accrued vacation. That $12,000 payout landed right on top of 11 months of full salary, pushing his final tax return straight into the peak 24% federal bracket plus state taxes. He handed Uncle Sam over $3,400 in taxes on that vacation check. Now, look at Dean. Same $12,000 payout, but received in early January. In January, Dean ain't got a single dime of salary coming in. That $12,000 was absorbed entirely by his standard deduction and the bottom 10% bracket. Dean paid under $1,200 in tax on the exact same vacation hours. Same $12,000, folks, but Dean kept $2,200 more in his pocket. Look at this comparison card right here. Pause the video and look closely at that bottom row. If you don't see how that calendar shift is changing your whole tax bracket, rewind 10 seconds and look at that table again. 'Cause shifting a retirement date by 18 days just saved Dean $2,200 in cold cash. And that ain't even counting the health insurance landmines waiting ahead. Getting your tax year right sets up your health care. Get your health care timing wrong, and you pay for medical care twice in the exact same year. Lever number 3 is the health insurance trap that catches folks dealing with heavy medical bills. Your company group health plan runs on a calendar year, January 1st to December 31st. If you went through surgery, a hospital stay, or heavy prescriptions, you probably met your annual deductible and out-of-pocket max by fall. Once you've met that maximum, your care is covered 100% through December 31st. Carl had a minor procedure in August and met his $4,000 out-of-pocket maximum. When he retired November 15th, his employer coverage ended on November 30th. He enrolled in a new private marketplace plan for December. And that new plan reset his deductible back to 0 on day 1. When he was needing follow-up tests in December, he had to pay $3,500 out of pocket all over again. Dean stayed on the job until January 2nd, rode his work plan at 100% coverage through year-end, and switched to his new plan on January 1st with a fresh 12-month deductible. All right, hold on a second, because dealing with HR paperwork ain't easy on anybody. Can somebody explain why HR handbooks are written in 50-page booklets that require a law degree to understand? Leave policy on page 8, true-up on page 34, and health termination on page 47. Tell me down in the comments, what month are you currently aiming to retire in, and did you check these dates with HR yet? Drop your target month below, 'cause we're halfway through, and the next 2 traps around 65 are the most dangerous of all. Now, lever number 4 is brand new for 2026, and it changes everything for anyone retiring before age 65. The enhanced ACA health care subsidies that protect an early retirees expired at the end of 2025. In 2026, we are back to the strict 400% federal poverty level cliff. For a single retiree, that threshold sits right around $62,600. For a married couple, it's roughly $85,000. If your income goes even $1 over that line, that health care subsidy ain't coming to your mailbox anymore. Unsubsidized premiums for early retirees jumped over 100% to keep in the exact same plan. Carl's full salary plus his vacation lump sum pushed his 2026 income to $67,000. He blew past the $62,600 cliff by $4,400 and lost $6,000 in annual health care tax credits, just like that. Dean retired January 2nd, showed low income in 2027, staying comfortably below that subsidy cliff, and kept every single dime of his health care subsidy. Now, if you're working past age 65 with an HSA, listen to this next part very carefully. When you finally enroll in Medicare Part A after 65, your coverage automatically backdates 6 months, up to 6 months retroactively, into your working year. And the moment Medicare Part A becomes active, your legal HSA contribution limit drops to zero. Every dollar you contributed to your HSA during those 6 backdated months ain't legal anymore. It becomes an excess contribution. And the IRS slaps a 6% penalty on that money every single year it's sitting in that account. Carl maxed out his HSA right up to his retirement in November, enrolled in Medicare, and got hit with 6 months of backdating penalties. That cost him $1,200 in excise tax and tax cleanup. Dean stopped his HSA contributions 6 full months before applying for Medicare. Write down this golden rule. Stop all HSA payroll deductions exactly 6 months before your Medicare start date. And remember, claiming Social Security automatically enrolls you in Part A, so the two decisions are locked together. Now, trap number 5, IB, is the stealth torpedo. Medicare, IRMAA, TKTK, Surcharges. In 2026, Medicare Part B ain't cheap at $202.90 a month. But Medicare don't look at what you're earning today. It looks at your tax return from 2 years back to deciding if you pay a surcharge. Your 2026 premium is determined by your 2024 income return. The first IRMAA line for a married couple sits at $218,000, or $109,000 for singles. Cross that line by just one single dollar, and your Medicare Part B and Part D premiums jump over $1,000 a year per person. For a couple, that's $2,016 a year in extra health costs. Carl's stacking his salary, vacation payout, and year-end bonus into 1 year, crossing $218,000 by $900. 2 years later, Medicare handed Carl and his wife a $2,000 IRMAA surcharge bill that ain't easy to swallow. Dean split his income across 2 calendar years, stayed under $218,000, and paid 0 IRMAA surcharges. Let's put the entire scoreboard together so you can see the real financial truth. Pause this screen right now and look at this complete Dean versus Carl scorecard. Check every single row. Carl lost $3,200 in true-up match, $3,400 in peak vacation taxes, $3,500 in duplicate deductibles, $1,200 in HSA penalties, and $2,016 in Medicare IRMAA surcharges. Total damage from Carl's November 15th retirement date: $13,316. Dean retired on January 2nd, captured his match, paid low-bracket taxes, and protected every single dollar. $13,300 saved. That ain't chump change, folks, just by changing the calendar page. For most retirees, January 1st, or early in the new year, is the cleanest financial move on the board. But use your judgment. If you met your deductible after surgery, staying on the job through December 31st. If a pension vests in March, waiting on that milestone. Here is your action checklist this week. Call HR and get 4 exact dates: true-up vestin, PTO payout rules, insurance termination date, and early year bonuses. Then, check your tax return from 2 years ago to make sure you're not walking into an IRMAA surcharge. Type the word month in the comments. If you're going to verify your retirement dates, tap like and subscribe. And I'll see you down the road.